Hi Layla, grab your tea. I think calling poor people selfish for having children is reductionist and it does not have enough nuance. Here's why. I'm currently wading through this book, Aren't I a Woman? Female Slaves in the Plantation South by Dr. Deborah Gray Wright, and it's an incredibly difficult read. It speaks openly and viscerally about the heinous, atrocious conditions that being a female slave in the plantation South was. And it touches a lot about their reproductive rights as they chose to take them back from their slave owners. We know that a lot of those births were forced, right? Because the owning class needed slaves to continue reproducing. They forced women to be birthed, they forced women to be pregnant, and they didn't provide contraception, obviously. There were lots of women that aborted their babies or killed them when they came because they couldn't bear to see them continue, and I completely understand that. I do not think it was selfish, just like I can understand that the people that did have babies and did try to take care of them as best as they possibly could, I don't think that that was a selfish decision. There are lots of people that are compelled to continue specifically because they were subject to genocide, and I don't think that is an inherently selfish decision. I don't. Those same people happen to also be from cultures that have a lot of ancestral veneration where you honor the people that came before you and you do your best to steward the world for the people coming after you. Coincidentally, that is much of the colonized world. It's much of the indigenous world. I am descended from formerly enslaved people on my mother's side. For everyone that chose to end their lineages with them, I don't think that was selfish. They could not have foreseen this world. And for everybody that chose to continue to have children, I don't think it was selfish. They wanted to continue. It's not their fault for wanting to survive. On my father's side, his people are indigenous to the region of Sierra Leone, the nation state now. I don't think it was selfish for people that were Limbaugh watching their homelands be ripped apart to not continue their lineage. It was unspeakable suffering. And I don't think it was selfish of them to want to continue. They were tasked with survival in impossible circumstances. And success. They did. My mother was homeless when she had me. She had to make the choice to give up my sister for a couple months so she could take care of me, a newborn who she felt really strongly about not wanting to abort. I can tell you that if I were in her circumstance, I probably would have made different decisions, but I don't think that she was inherently selfish for choosing to have me. I think a right to choose goes both ways. And I, as a child that grew up in poverty, from parents that grew up in poverty, and so on and so forth, will save my vitriol and my criticism for the people who create the conditions of poverty in the first place. And should I choose to have kids one day, I will work to give them a world that I am proud of, or at least say, you can be sure that I died trying to make sure there was a place for you here. I know that a world where cotton isn't king, capitalism isn't king, is very difficult for us to imagine. But I believe that I will see a day where we don't have to have an entire class of impoverished people. There are those of us where all we can do is continue to survive. I don't think that the will to survive is as selfish as people would like to make it seem. Have a good day.